Alrighty, folks. Tanya Smith here, and I'm super excited and thrilled to be here with you this evening. I'm double checking really quickly to make sure that we are live in all the right places. Let's make sure we got our chat up and running. Yes, we do. So we've got Substack here. We've got YouTube in the house. We've got LinkedIn in the house. Wherever you're watching from, just know that I am thrilled and honored to be here in this space with you. So here's what we're talking about tonight. This is an important topic, y'all. This is an important topic because I know you probably have been putting this thing off, and trust me, I get it because I have too. But if you've been putting off selling via live streams because you feel like you have to be much more polished, more scripted, or somehow put more together, right, before you can sell, this episode is your reset button. So I want you to reset those limiting beliefs. Tonight, we're going to talk about how showing up as your real self on live stream not only works, but it sells too. So this is part of our series that we're doing. This is season 7. And season 7 is all about the authenticity advantage. Say that 5 times really fast. Authenticity advantage. I want you to type in the word authentic in the chat if you're with me and you're hearing what I'm saying. And also let me know where you're from. I love it, Gabe. I am live on LinkedIn as well, and I can see your comments. So that is wonderful news. Thank you, sir. And it's so good to see you. We have to catch up. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is welcome my folks that are on Substack as well. I can see you there. So I love it. Authentic down in Guatemala. Okay, Sean. Awesome, awesome. We've got some folks that are from all over right now. So I am loving it. Authentic people are typing it in. Wonderful. Okay, look. Like I said, we're going to talk about how you can show up as your real self and sell on live stream. You can actually do that. And so I want to empower you with some tips and some strategies to be able to do so. We won't get into the tactical nature. Right now, this authenticity advantage thing is really more about soft skills. It's about making sure that you're putting yourself in position from a branding standpoint and from a competency standpoint so that you can deliver on the tactics, right? Brilliantly. So I want to try to arm you with the soft skills tonight. Welcome to Stream Like a Boss. For those of you who don't know what this show is, I'm Tanya Smith, your host, and this is where we help service providers and content creators to go from crickets to cash and clients by using live streams and maybe a video podcast. So strategy that actually works. I have a couple of questions for you that I always ask at the beginning of every show. And so for those of you who know what I'm going to ask, go ahead and type it into the chat. You know, if you've been here for any length of time, if you've ever seen an episode, I want you to type in hashtag OG. And if this is your very first time, you get to type in hashtag newbie. And I want to acknowledge you either way. We've got it right here for you, newbie or hashtag OG. Which one are you? And let us know where you're from. All right. Would love to know that. I love to see my OGs in the house. And I see the word authentic being typed in. Yes. I love it. Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm seeing folks from, yes. Okay. So we got some folks that are all over. Okay. Here's what we do before we dive into the content. And again, we're going to talk about selling via live stream. And by the way, if you do have tactical or technical questions, ask away. Okay. I am actually an approved an authorized Amazon influencer. So I actually live stream sell over there with Amazon, and I can share some tips with you in terms of platforms and that type of thing. But again, we're going to focus less on tactics tonight initially. And if you do have questions, go ahead and pop those into the chat so I can make sure that I cover those for you. Okay. So I do have some experience in doing the tactics and the technology stuff and can share that with you as well. So what we'll do before we dive deep is I want to encourage you to go ahead and grab your favorite cup of hydration, whatever that might be. Get your notepad, get your pen ready. And what we'll do is on the other side of this short video, we're going to come back and we're going to do a deep dive in. And I'm going to acknowledge folks that are here in the chat. I see Philadelphia in the house, Toronto in the house. It's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you for being here. Okay, grab that cup of hydration. We'll be right back. This is going to be a super quick intro video. In fact, we're not even doing like our lengthier one. This is super quick. So come right back, okay? Alrighty, folks. So tonight's topic again is talking about how to sell on your live streams with authenticity and without coming off like you're, the stereotype of the used car salesman. Nothing against used car salesmen, y'all. Okay. Nothing against that at all. But there's a stereotype that a lot of us know about. And so we're worried and concerned about, oh, well, I can't sell here because if I do, people are going to think that I'm just icky and they won't want to buy from me. And maybe I haven't given away enough free stuff yet. You've just got all these different excuses and reasons why, right? We decide not to. But the majority of you, if you're much like me, we are in a situation where we are not doing this thing as a hobby. This is about like creating a sustainable business so that we can sustain and support our families, right? And our livelihood. If you don't have a full out family that you're supporting, you could be supporting yourself. And so in order to do that, that means you need to market yourself and you need to sell something. So if that's the case, the question of where and how is probably something that may be ailing you a little bit. And I just want to give you some freedom and give you some permission structure to be able to do this even with your live streams. I'm going to explain why this is important in a minute. Let me say hello to a few folks real fast here. I'm going to pop into the comments section and we're going to pull up. Let's see. We got greetings from the 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 show. I need to make this pop up appropriately, and for some reason it is not. Why is that? We'll fix it in a minute, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 show, because that needs to show up a little bit brighter for us. So we will fix that right now. I think I know why. So we actually did a live stream earlier this week, which was a lot of fun, y'all. It was a live where I did kind of a, let's see, authentic. I think I spelled that right. You did, Gabe. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. We did a live stream show. What were we talking about? Heartbeat chat. Heartbeat chat. So that was kind of fun. All right. OG in the house. I see you. I see you. Hey there, 24-hour boss. Wonderful to see you here. Thank you for showing up. Lavana from Philadelphia, Tracy, JC in the house as well. Hello from LinkedIn. I love seeing all of you. There's my mind shifter friend. Y'all, I'll fix these comments in a little bit. I know it's because of my other screen that I did not fix. I didn't correct it, but that's okay. We can see your comments. Let's see what we got going over here on. Yeah, Sean said, love behind the scenes BTS. Selling is serving. I love it. I love it. You are an OG now. Let me type this in, or let me pop this up real quick here. If I can, I'm going to try to see if I can get to it and pull up my Substack folks too. Because you are considered an OG, Sean. So, you get to wear the badge, if you will. Let's see if we can pull it up. I'm going to make sure I get your comments up live right there. There we go. Okay. So those should pull up. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about this whole idea of selling. And I do have 3 points, but I also have a bonus for you. I have a bonus tip. Let's talk about the 3 points first, and then I'll get to the bonus tip. Okay. Now, some of you have seen these things in action. So as I go through and I talk about this, if you've watched me, if you're a hashtag OG, then you know that we have probably demonstrated some of the very techniques that I'm going to share, and some of the points that I'm going to talk about will be familiar to you because you're going to go, oh yeah, I remember when she did that. Okay. The first point that I want to pull up is point number 1. And point number 1 is this. It's about trust. So if you're thinking that the whole idea of selling is about performing, it's not. I mean, there's a level of performance simply by nature of you being on camera. I get it. Yes, right? But it's less about that, and it's more about you creating an environment of trust with the people who are watching and who are joining into your chat. So as you see me, for instance, conducting chat message, navigation, and I'm looking through and trying to make sure that I'm showcasing people and I'm saying hello and those type of things, I'm building trust. I'm creating credibility. I'm enforcing or nurturing community. I'm doing all of those things. But one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear about is that you need to perform in order to get paid. Live streaming isn't really about the performance. It's a conversation. You've heard me say this. You've seen me demonstrate it. It's about conversing. It's about holding a dialogue and holding space for people to have conversation with you through the chat. If you have guests, it's you and the guest and the chat, right? Think of it like inviting someone into your kitchen for coffee, or I think maybe that's a good one, or into your living room or onto your back porch, right? The weather's starting to get nice here in Dallas, so this would be a good time for us to have margaritas, chips and salsa on the patio and have friends over, right? This is the type of conversation I'm talking about. So when you relax a little bit and stop thinking of it as being on stage and having to perform, the conversation is what generates the trust. It's what fosters trust. Selling a live stream or on your live stream is much like cooking a meal in front of your guest, right? So, the whole chips and salsa thing, maybe we have some tacos or some fajitas going, because we're in Texas and we love this kind of thing. A lot of our friends do too. You don't need to have a spotless house and a spotless kitchen or even a scripted recipe that you're following in order to serve something good. The people that are joining you, they're joining you for the camaraderie. They're joining you to see if you can deliver something meaningful. They're not looking at whether or not your apron matches your countertops. Right? Hopefully not. At least I'll say this, because some of you may be hosting those type of streams. So let me backtrack a little bit. I always have to give this disclaimer because there's nothing that's an absolute. I'm going to say that this, for me, and it may be for you too. It can be for you too. You can give yourself this permission. For me, I realized that once I kind of let go of being so stuffy with my streams and really creating this environment of trust and conversation and community, it just felt easier. It just made it easier. I didn't have to worry about everything being perfect and being right all the time. Yeah, I mean, I have a nice setup now and I've got some slides and I do prepare. So I'm not saying come in unprepared. I'm saying, because even if I had the friends over, right, on the back porch, I'm still going to do some sweeping and dusting. I'm going to make sure there's, things aren't dirty. We don't have dirty laundry hanging out on the, sofa or on the back porch. I'm going to do those things, but at the same time, I'm still relaxed and I'm in my own element. I'm in my skin. And so if you can give yourself permission to do that, that's going to help you with this point number one. It's going to help you to really feel more comfortable and more confident when you get to the actual act of selling. And selling is sharing. You know how people say sharing is caring? Selling is sharing. And sharing is caring. So selling is caring. You care that the people on the other side of that video, if you're doing a live stream or a video podcast, you care that the people on the other side of that are going to experience the transformation that you're promising through the thing that you're selling. I do care. I care about that. It's not just about lining your pockets. It's about how can I help and serve? Okay. So when you're thinking about point number one, which again is that it's about trust building, it's not about performance. I want you to think about the last time you actually put yourself on camera. And I want you to think about, how did I treat myself and how did I treat the people on the other side of the camera? Did I treat them like they were buyers? Did I treat myself as though I was someone that was performing for them? Or did I really try to just simply create a line of trust? Because there is a difference. And it's going to feel different to you as you put yourself in the situation. I promise you. It's much easier when you can just relax and have the chat, right? All right. And you know what? I think you're making a great point. Let me pop this comment up because I think this is super important. 24-hour boss says chips and salsa in Texas is important too. Yes, it is, sir. I'm still gonna fix this. Let me do this. I gotta fix these comments so that they can show up a little bit better. So let's do this real fast here. I am not a perfectionist. I'm a recovering perfectionist. But I do like for things to be nice. I do. It's not, it's a thing. So I'll pull that up. Let me see if we can get your comment there again. Okay, it shows up a little bit better. I'll fix it for the next time. But yes, chips and salsa are important. Tech Troublemaker in the house. Good to see you, sir. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so are we ready for point number 2? Now that we know that we don't have to be perfect, now that we know we can be authentic and we can have conversations and we can have, the patio talk, let's go to point number 2. Point number 2 is this: lead with value. And I'm going to talk a little bit about offer-based content. Okay. Now, some of you, again, will know what the boss formula or system is, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But here's the thing. When you're leading with value, what that means is that you're not coming straight out the gate like, hey, buy my stuff, right? What this means is that the content that you are creating, and I'm going to give you a really perfect example because this right here, what we're doing in this entire season is offer-based content. I always create offer-based content. So check this out. For those of you who don't know what the boss system is, let me see if I can pull it up. I think I have a napkin created with the boss system, and I'm just going to quickly explain what this formula is, what the framework looks like, okay? And I'll pull it up on screen. Let's see. Yeah, we do have a visual. Let me showcase this for you so that I can explain why offer-based content is what's going to help you with leading with value, okay? So let's pull this up. Okay, I will try to blow this up a little bit more because I hadn't planned on talking about it, but I feel like I probably need to give you a little bit of a scope of things and help you to understand what we're talking about. So boss, the boss formula is BOSS. The B is for brand. Okay, so these are the things, this is my core framework that I teach. Everything that I do stems from the foundations of the boss formula. Okay, so boss is B for branding. Okay, so as you're creating your video podcast and your other strategies around that for your content, you need to be clear on your brand. We can go all day into that, but I won't for today. But brand has to do with knowing your target audience is, knowing what your message is, knowing who, and when I say target audience, it's market. It's 4 things. I do need to explain this really fast, okay? Brand, 4 things. Your market, so your target audience, your mastery, so what it is you're an expert at, okay? What's the niche? Your message, so what's the core thing that people walk away from? Anything that you've done, knowing. What's the core message? And the 4th one is your method. Like, how do you go about bringing the solution to the problems that they have? So branding yourself is the first. We're not focused on that tonight. We're going to focus on the O, which is offer-based content. This means that you're generating your leads and your clients through your live stream marketing, which I'm going to explain in just a second. But you're focusing on the offer so that you're working backwards and reverse engineering and creating the content based on what it is you sell. I'm going to explain the importance of that in just a second. The S is for smart systems. So this is where we dive into automation, workflows, AI, those type of things. And the last one is social engagement, which is where we're attracting community and building community through our live streams, enhancing our brand's impact. So that's the boss formula for those of you who don't know. So when we talk about offer-based content, now you know where that comes from. It's the second letter in this framework that I teach, okay? Now, here's what's really important when you're talking about offer-based content. So I talked about the fact that you're reverse engineering. What that means is you're not just like randomly creating content just for sake of content. I know. A lot of people do this. Remember, if you have questions, pop those into the chat. A lot of people do this. They will simply just start creating content and they'll just pop it out there and hope and pray that it's going to work. So the pray and post method is what many people do. I don't do that because time is money. And in my world, as someone who runs a business, has a full-time corporate position, has family and household, and right now I'm the primary breadwinner thanks to some circumstances that have happened this year as a result of the administration in our wonderful United States. What I've found is that to be intentional is to, if you're not intentional, you could waste a lot of time. Let me just say it that way. And so here's the thing. When you're creating content, if you don't understand what it is you're about, so if you don't know your brand, and if you don't have any offers to sell, to me, that's kind of a waste of time because I don't have anything to point people to. And I'll tell you, I learned this not because I just knew it. I learned it because I made a lot of mistakes in the 20-something years, well, almost 20 years that I've been coaching. And one of the mistakes was this. I used to create content just for sake of creating content because I was like, oh, this is fun. And I just want to create it. I want to help people, which we do want to do. But one day somebody approached me and he said, I love what you're putting out there, but I'm just not really sure how I'm supposed to work with you. Like, what else you got? Right? How can I work with you? And I went, oh, that's a good point. And then I've told you the story about being asked to do a relationship seminar with this workshop that was going on. And I was like, why? Only because I've been married for 20 something years. At the time it was 20 something. Now it's 30, right? So I've been married for 30 years, 31 years in November of this year, y'all. And so she was like, I think you should be a relationship coach. You should come stand on my stage and you should do this, speech or whatever. And I thought, I can't tell other people about this, but I did it because at the time I was in that mindset of, well, she asked, so I guess I need to do it. And I got on the stage and I talked a little bit about my own relationship. I didn't have real tips, really. I gave some tips, but when people were looking for what else I had afterwards, I didn't want to sell relationship coaching guides or digital products or coaching around that. I didn't want to talk to people about their relationships. That's not what I wanted to do. So you have to think about the alignment between what you're putting out there in terms of the content and what's the connection to what you're selling and offering people, because it's not just about the sale. Are y'all understanding when I say the underlying theme of this conversation is that I'm trying to help you to think differently? It's not just the sale itself. It's about how am I in the right position to help the right person to transform and change and go from point A to point E because of the solutions that I'm providing them that have value. They have a monetary value. There is currency exchange involved because they can see the benefit and the power of what I'm able to help them to do and how I'm able to help them to move faster from point A to point E. Right? So when you really think about that, what I want to give you as homework right now is this thought. Because if you haven't thought about it, I want you to think about it now. I want you to think about how can I create offers that matter to the people that I serve? And as I'm creating those offers and I'm assigning them to price points and all of those things, how is my content that I'm putting out into the world, whether it be Reels, TikToks, live streams, video podcasts, whatever I'm putting out into the world, how does it point people back to those things that I offer so that they can expand their time with me and have a transformation? When you think about it that way, that's what I mean when I say lead with value. You hear that a lot, right? But I'm really trying to break this thing down because I want you to understand leading with value means that you're giving people, all I can give you in this 1 hour that we're together is a taste of what I know. I can give you a little bitty, it's a smidgen of what I know and how I can help you. But when I share that with you, you get a little idea of, so I can have a bigger transformation because I had this little miniature transformation from the 1 hour I was on Tanya's live stream. So now if I spent time in her 8-week program directly getting coaching from her, imagine all the things I can do. You want people to see that and you want them to feel that and to think that way. So when I talk about leading with value and offer-based content, look, if you get what I'm saying, if this is connecting with you, put a hashtag, put a fire emoji into the chat. I just want to know, I'm going to kind of scan and see is this making sense right now? Because it's bigger than just the sale. It's about how am I positioning myself to be a helper and of service to others in a way where they are I'm making a ripple effect. It's not just me that's succeeding, but because I am sharing my knowledge and offering these solutions, it is creating positive energy that is making waves. And so the person I'm talking to across the other side of this camera and the people that are in their household and in their community spaces are all being affected because they're doing better. Their life is improving, right? If you're seeing that, let me see a fire hash. Okay, I see a fire emoji. I see several. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Tech Troublemaker. Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, okay. All right. Yes, yes. And I love it. So, Mr. Sparrow, I see you in there. I got to pop this comment up because this is fire right here, what you just said. To answer the why and provide reasons that affects. Yes. Yes. Mind shifter. Yes. If we work to serve them, they will serve our wallets. Yes. And not only our wallets, but our souls, y'all. Like this is, to me, it's such a spiritual thing to be able to sell. It really is. It's about it comes from such a deeper place than just here, your mouth. It's coming from in here. When you're really passionate about what you can do for others and how you can serve, that passion translates into building the trust that we talked about in point number 1 and also creating the ripple effect. Okay. So offer-based content. Now you know what that is. Now you know where it falls into the boss formula. Let's go to point number 3. Let's see. Point number 3. Asking doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be awkward. So when we're thinking about this point, what I think sometimes we worry about is that, remember I said the whole salesy thing? We worry about that. We worry that we're coming off too salesy. And I'm going to say this because I remember the times when I felt really awkward. I remember when someone would tell me, ask for the sale, ask for the sale. And I was like, oh, okay, a little history. So remember how I told you it's been, 20 years I've been coaching, et cetera, right? So I'm also a corporate analyst and strategist, right? So when I first moved to Dallas, this is so funny. I first moved to Dallas. I was so green, y'all. I was young. I had just had my baby, my firstborn. Um, she wasn't even a good couple months old yet. And I had moved to Dallas and I was waiting on my husband to get here. And it was a crazy time. And I was in the mall and I was walking through the mall and I'm pushing this baby carriage. And this woman comes up to me because I'm in Dallas. Y'all are going to get this. And she says, "Oh my God, your skin is so beautiful. You know what? You should join me for a luncheon about women who are expressing themselves and freedom." And she used all these words, these buzzwords that sounded really good to me because I was like, wow, freedom, the ability to make choices about my life. I don't have to be, have the golden handcuffs at a job in a cubicle. I was all of that, right? And so what she was introducing me to is to becoming an entrepreneur. Some of you know about Mary Kay. Mary Kay sales. Okay. So I was a Mary Kay salesperson. I became a Mary Kay cosmetics person, y'all, a consultant. That is my first introduction to anything entrepreneur. I knew nothing. I was so green, had no clue. Couldn't sell myself out of a paper bag. I mean, like I couldn't do anything. I just knew that I was hearing those words about freedom and learning. And I've always been a learner and a trainer and all of that stuff. So it was, these things resonated with me. Now, eventually that wasn't my jam. But at the time, I learned so much. I actually became a sales director, for those of you who don't know. I learned so much, though, from my time in that business that I took that with me. But one of the things that I remember is the fear. Like the fear, y'all. Like the fear of making the first sale. I remember my mentor saying, "Okay, so I want you to go and approach this woman and I want you to say these words," and they would give you a script and all of that. And I just couldn't, it wouldn't come out of my mouth. I just wasn't comfortable with it. I felt like, ooh, she's going to think I'm gross. Like she's not going to want to talk to me. Right. And eventually I learned again, I had to move myself out of the way. It wasn't about me at all. And that's not the product I sell anymore. Right. But at the time, what I learned is how to move myself out of the way and how to think about the person that I was talking to, how to really focus in on them. That was the beginning of my knowledge and understanding and my freedom, my mental freedom that, okay, it's not about me at all. It's really about them. It's how can I help? And that planted the seeds for where I am now. And the more I got comfortable with it and the more I saw it as conversation, the easier it became. But I know, so if you're sitting there like saying, this is hard, I can't sell. I get it. I do, because I've been in your shoes. And it takes practice and it takes time. But when you start to see the things that I'm teaching you tonight, I hope are helping you to really see it differently and to reframe the idea of selling. So it doesn't have to be awkward. It's a natural extension, not a switch in your tone. It's a natural extension of the conversation that you already have been having. You don't have to have a hard pitch. Okay? If you can say something like this, if what I'm sharing is hitting home and you're ready to apply this to your business, send me a quick message. I've got something that can help you get your results faster. It's an invitation. It's human and it works. And so when I'm on live and if you came onto the Heartbeat chat stream earlier, and you can go watch the replay because I did that on Tuesday, a couple of days ago, I was selling there. I was selling the Heartbeat chat space. Now, I sell things that I believe in, that I believe can transform and have a purpose, an intentional purpose for the people that I'm talking to. That makes it easier too. So knowing that Heartbeat is an excellent community platform that can help people, when I spoke about it and I walked through the demo and I talked about the pros and the cons, I was honest with people and told them, here's the things I love, here's what I don't love, but here's why I think it has these use cases. And then I shared my link. Some people have a real problem with sharing affiliate links. I just can't understand it. Maybe I could once upon a time, but now I don't, because think about this, y'all. Even if you don't have a product or an offer of your own to sell yet, if you're sharing other people's products, services, or programs, and you have an affiliate link, that is a win for all three of you. It's a win all the way around. It's a win for you. It's a win for the person that you're talking to and sharing it with. And it's a win for the person who actually created it. Who does not want a W? I'm trying to understand why it's such a problem for people to share affiliate links. I love seeing the cha-ching when I've shared with someone something that I know is going to work for them and for their situation, because I've tried it myself and I know I've given them all my honest thoughts about that thing. I'm trying to help you to think differently, y'all, to apply what I'm saying to what you're doing. This is your opportunity to really reframe the thing you've been thinking about in terms of sales. So I'm going to give you a 3-point bonus framework. Before I do that, I'm going to pull up a couple of comments because I love seeing the comments in the chat, y'all. And I love seeing the fire emojis on Substack too. Yes, Dr. Stacy Moore, it was my COVID revenue model. Let me pop this up. Hold on. Yes. Let's see if it'll pop up. Is it going to pop up for me? Oh, I know why it's not popping up. Hold on. It's because I don't have it on. There we go. Yes, exactly. Being able to show affiliates. I know, Stacy Moore. Because one of the things you even did with your Go Brunch platform is to create clickable affiliate links to different types of products, if I remember correctly, if I'm getting that right. Yes. All right. Let me see what else we got. We've got some comments in here. Seeing lots of fire emojis. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was a Mary Kay rep for a month. True story. Were you? I wouldn't be surprised. There are a lot of men that do very well with that because they're helping women to feel beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words that this is very rich. I appreciate it. This is fire. Thank you, y'all. Okay, good. So that's telling me this is resonating with you. So let me give you your bonus. Here's a bonus tip, okay? Because, this was a long way to say a couple of things I'm about to say in 3 parts, okay? If you're selling. And again, I can share if you've got questions, pop them in the chat. If there's questions about anything that we're talking about tonight, anything related to selling, live streaming, etc., pop that into the chat, okay? John Lacey said, are there tech troublemaker makeup tutorials out there? John, I have missed seeing you and talking to you, sir. We have to connect. Okay, let me pull this up. Here's my selling tips for you. Okay, so 3 tips. If you want to connect with your audience and sell, here's 3 parts to the live stream selling process: hook, help, and hint. So the hook is where you're identifying a problem that your audience is facing, right? The help is teaching one or more valuable steps or shifts. And then the hint is to introduce how your offer helps implement that shift fully. How is your offer helping to implement the shift? Okay. I guess I could give a slight example. Let me think about this. Everything I'm talking to you about tonight, I know one of the problems is that people have trouble with selling, with voicing, talking about their product, program, service when it comes to their stream, because they're not really sure how to do it. They're not sure where in the conversation to do it, right? And so what I might do with that particular formula I just shared with you is I might say, I'm teaching you this step. Actually, let me give you one that's better. I'm going to give you one that's different from tonight, okay? The guest interviews. So I did a podcast / live stream several weeks back about guest interviews. Here's one of the reasons why this one was so important, because I have been getting a lot of questions from folks about how is it that you do your guest interviews? What's your workflow? Just give me tips on how I can make this a little bit more smooth because it's really complicated. That's what I was hearing from folks in my communities. So I said, okay, I'm going to create a live stream. We're going to talk about that. And then what I'm going to promote. So the hook was identifying the problem. The problem was guest interview flows were too complicated. The help was that I taught one specific theme around how to actually set up the workflow. I talked about the way to set it up prior to going live with your guest. The hint or the offer was that I gave people an opportunity to be able to set up a discovery call with me. And if they set up that discovery call, then they can get access to my full out program, right? That's related to setting up your live stream interview process. So for instance, right now I have an 8-week-long program that's building out in a full-blown live stream / video podcast, whichever one you want to go. The route will be the same, the way I teach it. And for that 8 weeks, we're going to cover a number of different things. And so I don't have it ready yet, so don't ask. It's coming. But I'm putting together a wait list right now. So not next week, but the week after, you should be able to get access to that wait list. And so everything that we've been doing for this season, for season 7, is leading people to that wait list so that they'll be able to then take advantage of joining the program and learning more and going deeper into the stuff that we're talking about in these streams. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's offer-based content that I've been reverse engineering. I'm preparing to put the actual sale out there, but what I'm going to do differently this time is I'm actually putting a wait list. So I'm pre-selling. Before I create all of the 8 weeks of content, I'm going to create like 1 or 2 weeks first, and I'm going to pre-sell this thing. But everything I'm sharing with you with these season 7 episodes, the first 3 or 4, is building foundation to help then deliver the hint. Another thing I'm doing tonight, and I just started this today. I've decided, as a result of some conversations I've been having in a particular group that I'm a part of with my own mentor, my Substack mentor is Anna. And Anna has taught me that there's more than just a singular way to actually sell and promote on Substack. And so I said, okay, fine, I'm going to open myself up to this idea and try this thing. And so what we've done is we've created a paid subscription that allows people to access the chat. So here's what I decided to do to put my toe in the water with this. If you're a paid subscriber on my Substack account, so I'm sharing this behind the scenes so that you can think of your own ideas that might work for you. If you become a paid subscriber starting like effective a few hours ago, what I'm going to do after my live stream every week is I'm going to upload a special template, checklist, worksheet, something that will help you to implement and take action on what I taught. And that will be available to people in the chat. Right? So just by nature of me creating these, I'm creating different pathways for people to be able to purchase. Huh? What? Yes. So think of multiple ways. It doesn't just have to be your big ticket sales process. It could also be little ways that you're helping people, right? And that you're also generating revenue for your business so that you can sustain your household and your family. And in these times, y'all, we have to think of ways to do that. I am dead center in the middle of that right now. So I get it, but not out of a sense of desperation. It's out of a sense of I'm being strategic and I'm building and I'm working on delivering what I know and what I've been sharing and making sure I assign it a value. This is the way you have to think about what you're delivering, because what you're sharing is of value, y'all. You don't have to give everything away for free. I give away a lot of stuff for free on these chats, these live streams. I do. And I enjoy it. But there are also things that are behind a paywall. So think about that. How are you charging? People say charge what you're worth, right? How are you charging for the transformation that you're able to deliver to people? Okay, so we need to do a recap. But before I do that, I'm going to go in here and check and see if there's questions. If you have any questions at all, they can be of a technical nature. If you want to ask me something about Amazon live streaming, if you want to ask me about selling with affiliate links, any of that kind of stuff, put it into the chat because I'm checking. Yes, 24-Hour Boss said, pre-sale, genius. Yes, because I was like, ooh, that's 8 weeks. That's a whole program that I'm recreating. I'm like redoing something that I previously had that was a different type of program. Initially, I had like 3 or 4 different ones that I had in mind and that I was selling. And I thought, why can't I do an 8-week transformation for people? Why can't I put these things, these frameworks into that 8 weeks and be strategic about putting together implementation process and worksheets and on-demand course plus the live portion and creating the experience? Why can't I do that? And so I decided to do that. But before I put all the work that's going to go into that, I got the outline. I know the structure. I know what I want to put into it, but I also need to listen to what my audience is saying resonates with them. Because sometimes what we do is we put a whole lot of time and energy into something that we think is great, but our target audience is like, I don't need that. And so now you just wasted a bunch of time. So that's the purpose of the pre-sale. Hey. Okay. Let me see what we got. She said, amen. Radiance by Ratilia. Okay, let me see. Let me pop this up because this is a good comment too from John Lacey. I don't really use it, but Restream Studio has all those epic shopping features. Yes, sir. So when I do my Amazon selling, right, when I do a Saturday live stream on Amazon, that is one of the key features that I use is I use the QR codes. And by the way, there's 2 different things. So I use eCam. Like right now, what I'm live streaming from is something called eCam Live, which is amazing. It's my favorite. And when I'm using eCam Live to sell, then what I do is I go and create a QR code using Canva, and I pull that in as an image. So I will have the sale, the QR code up. I might even have an example of one. But with Restream, it can connect directly to your Amazon shopping cart or your store rather, and start pulling in different devices, gear, books, whatever it is you have in your store. It can pull those in and share the image plus the QR code plus the title and even a little bit of a description. So you have all of those features available to you, and Restream is excellent for you to be able to do that. Another tool that will allow you to share QR code directly is called Be Live. Although I haven't used Be Live in a long time, if anybody ever wants a demo of that, maybe we'll make that one of our live stream summer school classes. So let me say this, because I didn't say this earlier, but one of the things that I had fun doing a couple of years ago is something called Livestream Summer School. And so I am debating about the dates right now because this is the year where I have to get my child out into the world because she is getting ready for college searches and tours. So I have to figure out when the timing will be right, but I'd love to do at least a 3-day live stream summer school where we teach about platforms, devices. So the sales stuff, we can go a little deeper into the tactical stuff in that live stream summer school. So if that's of interest to you, let me know, and I will find us some dates for that. The Jen Hardy Show is in the house. What's up? I love it. Is wait, hold up. I got to put this in here. Cast ahead, Chris Stone. You are late, OG, but you're here. So I love it. I love that you're here. Let's see. Yeah, at the end of the day, QR codes are simply just images, so you can bring it into your software as an overlay. Exactly. Now, John Lacey is a genius at OBS. So for those of you who are using the free OBS platform, definitely follow his channel to get more information and details about that. Let's see, question. Okay, good. I'm getting questions. How do you get to sell on Amazon Live? Maybe this is off topic, but are there certain metrics? So you do need to apply 24-hour boss. Now, I haven't lately looked at the criteria or the specifics as to what they are requiring, but I'll find a page and put that link into the description here to make sure that you have an answer on that. But yeah, because I've been approved for a while and I haven't taken a look recently. If anybody in the chat knows recent or current criteria, can you let us know so that 24-hour boss will know the answer to this question? It's not off topic because it's definitely about selling, right? And you do need to, here's what I will say, is you want to have some presence because they are going to ask you, for instance, about different links and things that you have available. They're going to want to take a look at what your current brand presence is. So you want to have some things that you're ready to share inside of the application. You do have to be approved in order to go live. And there are there's some technical things that you'll want to know about going live through Amazon. Again, lots of videos out on YouTube about that 24-hour boss, but yeah, it's workable, it's doable, but definitely be thinking about your brand presence. John Lacey, is it nearly summer in the U.S.? Yeah, but it's been crazy. The up and down weather has been nuts. It's been stormy, which I don't love. So that part is not fun. And yet you're exactly right, Chris Stone. Better late than never. I love having you here. I do. And Dr. Stacy Moore, I think you are actually responding to something I said, and I'm just late to getting to your comment, but I see you said, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I was right about what you were selling and promoting through your Go Brunch using the affiliate links. Yeah. So there's a number of different ways, y'all, that you can actually sell. And it doesn't necessarily have to be some formal way. You don't have to have, and we need to do another video about this, but I do have one in my playlist, y'all, about the idea that you don't have to wait until you have 10,000 followers and have, all of these different criteria met. You can sell before that because all you need to do is open your mouth and you have an open store. That's something I learned a long time ago from my Mary Kay time. Open mouth, open store, closed mouth, closed store. That was the phrase, right? So literally, if you have something that you want to promote, get on your live stream and talk about it. Now, do the things that I talked about tonight about leading with value and all of that stuff. Yeah, you want to think about that, right? But open your mouth and talk about it. Share if you don't have your own products, your own store, your own stuff yet, your own merchandise. Like I have 2 merchandise stores. I have one for Stream Bosses Academy members, and I have one that's just Stream Like a Boss. Look, if I don't talk about it, people don't know that it's there. But it's there and I could sell it and I don't have to wait for someone to monetize me. You can monetize yourself right now by simply opening your mouth and talking about the things. Okay, and tying them back to the value and the transformation, right? Yes, I love this comment. Let me pop this up. Jen Hardy, who is a genius, I'm going to tell you, she's a YouTube genius. She's a genius in anything she opens her mouth to talk about. Start selling early. That way your audience is used to it as you grow, and it makes everything so much more comfortable. Ask me how I know. I know how you know. Monetize yourself. Exactly. Let's pop the gold up, y'all. It is gold. It is gold. Okay, let me see. John has a question. Is your Amazon Live stuff vertical or horizontal? I haven't really spent time. Mine is horizontal because of the way that it displays on screen on Amazon on the store. Typically, I will do horizontal. I haven't seen many verticals except for people who are doing like short reviews of certain products and things, right, John? So typically when I do a live stream, I will do it horizontal. Now, I will tell you that the app because you have to use an app that's on your mobile device on your phone. In order to broadcast live, you use the Amazon Live app once you've been approved. It will give you the option to do vertical or horizontal. I like the horizontal personally, probably because I'm old school. I know that vertical gets a lot of views. I get it. But I like the horizontal for more than just one reason, not just because I'm old school, but also because it gives me a little bit more real estate to play with, especially because I'm usually showcasing some type of video gear or something that's going to take up space where I can do like demos and things like that, which you can do on vertical, sure. But I just find that it's, to me, I like the ability to have that extra space, that room. But yeah, try it. Definitely try it. And I will see if I can find, let me see real fast if I can find the link to apply for Amazon, Amazon Influencer Program. Okay, here's a link, y'all. I'm going to pop it up for you right now so that you can see it, okay? We'll put it in the screen share. So for those of you who are interested, here's where you're going to find information about it. It's affiliate-program.amazon.com. Okay, let me see if I can type this in really quickly and help you with that. Let's see. I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to pop it up on screen so that you can see it. And let's pop that up there. And we need to move this. Come on, Tanya, make it work. Okay, I need to change screens. I'm going to do it this way. There you go. Boom. Okay, that's the link. So 24 Hour Boss, take a peek over there and you'll find more information about how to apply if you're interested in applying. And my girl, Stephanie Garcia, has an amazing book that talks about micro-influencers and micro-influencer marketing that you will want to check out because she really goes deep into your ability to sell, even if you're a micro, meaning that you don't have hundreds of thousands and 10,000 and all of that stuff in terms of followers and subscribers, but you're a smaller influencer like I am. It's an excellent book that speaks to how to leverage yourself as a micro influencer and sell. So that would be one I would highly recommend. If I had a link up, a QR code up, I would share it with you right now, but I don't have it ready. So, okay, y'all, I don't see any more questions. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap. Let's do our 60-second wrap up. Can we do that? Okay, let me get my notes real quick here and we're going to do the wrap up. All right. And if you haven't already liked, followed, subscribed, shared with a friend, you know, all the things. Don't forget to do that before we go. All right, let's do this. Okay, so here's our 60-second recap. Livestream sell when you lead with trust, not performance. So keep in mind that it's all about you creating this environment of trust and not worrying so much about whether or not you're performing well. It's about how are you being authentic and real and genuine and helping people to know, like, and trust you so that they feel confident about buying from you. Second point we talked about is offer-based content. When you are delivering your content and you reverse engineering the content that you're sharing based on offers that you have and that are ready to promote, that's going to reduce friction. It's going to make the pitch a lot more natural. It's it's an extension of your natural conversation, right? In the content that you're delivering, the conversation that you're having on your live stream, on your video podcast. The offer and making the offer becomes a natural extension of that. The third thing we talked about is that your presence is the point. Polish is optional. You don't necessarily have to be worried about feeling awkward, right? You don't have to worry about that because just showing up and being there and being in the moment and delivering delivering to the people that you're talking to the value that you know you can only do yourself because you are uniquely you and gifted and experienced and talented in a way that no one else is. When you're uniquely yourself, it's not going to be awkward because it's just you sharing as a natural extension of the conversation, as we said previously, right? So I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to remind you again of the 3 H's that we talked about, what we did right here: hook, help, and hint. Identify the problem, teach about it, and then introduce your offer. And I'm going to remind you also to make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe to this video. I may or may not be here next week. We do have a funeral to attend for my grandmother, my husband's grandmother, so my kid's great-grandmother, beautiful soul. And so I will possibly be doing some things to prep for that. But if not, if I have the ability to be here on Thursday, I will. So more to come. If not next week, then it'll be the week after. But I'll keep you updated, of course. Make sure if you're not already subscribed on my email list, this is my main email list is right here, but you can also find me over on Substack, y'all. Okay? Absolutely. I am doing my best to look after myself. Thank you for the kind words, John. I appreciate you so much, as always. Don't forget that your sales are just a conversation. It's just an extension of the conversation you're already having with people in the chat. That's all it is. And if I can help you in some way, reach out, set a time, book a call, and let's talk. Let's talk about your business. All righty, folks, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time in the stream.